Hello, and welcome back to PBNJ. I am your host, Jam, and today's segment is Student Spotlight, spotlighting the artists scholars here at Florida State University. Our next guest is Angel Wildgoose. Angel was raised on both coasts of the continental U.S., came to Tallahassee with a plan to never be broke again. Now a scholar and media communications major, she strives for excellence in everything she does, even in making the perfect egg sandwich. We're going to have to get that recipe after that. All right, y'all, give it up for Angel Wildgoose. Welcome to PB&J. Welcome. Take a seat. Angel, how you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. All right. Look, I know that this is both of our ends of our first semester here at FSU. So let me ask you first and foremost, how was your first semester overall?
If I could sum it up in one word, that would be accomplished. I feel like coming into it, I was very scared. I was very nervous as to how I would leave my mark at Florida State. And even in the first semester, I feel like I've done so much. If I left here now, I would be satisfied.
Come on. How did Angel get to Florida State University? Could you share with us your origin story?
Well, I'm from Central Georgia. Do you know where Macon is?
I've heard of it.
Do you know where Atlanta is?
I know where Atlanta is.
Okay, I'm smack dab in the middle.
Okay, got you. All right.
Yes. Locust Grove. It's a very small country town. Came from there. I went to SCAD for a little bit.
Okay.
And I couldn't afford it because SCAD is expensive. So I moved here to Tallahassee with an aunt, and she told me you have one of two options. You can either work or go to school. School was very expensive, so I worked until I could afford it, and now here I am at 26 years old at Florida State.
Come on now. Here at Florida State University, what are you studying?
Media communications.
All right. So where did your love for media communications begin?
Well, I've always been into film. I love movies. I also love being in like the backstage of movies. I love filming and writing and things like that. So I was thinking, how can I hone in on those skills and make it my profession? So instead of going to the film school at FSU, I wanted to be able to work at the same time. And media communications was enough credit hours so that I can still have a part-time job and work and go to school. So I decided to do media communications.
All right. So your first semester at FSU. Now, Angel and I, we are a part of WVFS, 89.7, the voice of Tallahassee. What is your experience working as a newsie this semester?
Oh, it's actually been amazing. I met you. That was like one of the highlights of working at the radio station. There were times where I thought about, is this for me? Do I really want to work in news? Do I want to work for a radio station? What do I really want to do as far as clubs here at FSU? And by the end of the semester, I realized this is something that I do want to do.
Come on. Now, you mentioned this is where we met at WVFS, and they have their monthly news magazine on the radio called Vox Populi.
Yes.
It's an award-winning news magazine, and for the month of October, the theme was beer. And as a personal practice, just to keep my mind sharp and to keep writing plays, I submitted a radio play called The Hurricane Party. Now, The Hurricane Party was, I treat all of my plays like tales or myths. It was the myth of how I dealt living through my first hurricane, Hurricane Helene. Whew, I'm telling you, when Hurricane Helene hit, it's like everything kind of discombobulated, but we're back and we're better. So Angel reached out and was thankfully interested and available to voice a few of the characters.
Yes.
That's where we met, Angel. And what I like to do for folks who are crazy enough to get involved with my projects is to provide them with a little food, a little love offering, as my friend Chanel Henderson would say. And so luckily enough, you worked at Momo's, and you were able to bring a pizza. I remember texting you like, "Hey, you want something? A little pizza?" But apparently you were Momo'd out, so you want no pizza.
Yes.
That's where we met in the Laser Lounge over at WVFS, and you and I had a heart-to-heart is what I would call it. So without getting into the details of it, you were open enough to share with me what you were experiencing in that moment, as being a part of the Newsies and our first experiences there. What I got from that conversation was just, well, I've had this person, who I just met and is crazy enough to work with me, who has a theater background, which we'll get into. And we're discussing, the industry that we're inside of, the network that we're inside of. Right. And when is it important, and maybe I'll leave this as a question, when is it important to speak up and to speak out and to just keep trucking and to act in your excellence, as you put in your bio. So from that experience, all is said and done and we're way past it now. What are your takeaways, I guess, from that experience that you shared?
That's a very great question. Thank you so much. To backtrack a little bit, I talked about how going into the radio, I was unsure about a few things. One of them was I don't see a lot of Black women in radio who aren't seen to be, gossipy, or they're not seen to be, or they are seen to be gossipy. And I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be, I'm not sure what I wanted to be, but I felt like I didn't have a great representation. And also being at, a predominantly white institution, where do I fit in so that I'm not cliche? And also, I'm myself. So what we talked about was stepping into our excellence and saying, hey, these things aside, who am I? And how will I shine regardless of what the media would think of me? So yeah, we had a great conversation, and I feel like the conversation we had made me stick to the radio station. Not only was it our conversation, but it was also prove it, prove that you're here for a reason, prove that what you're doing is going to be supplemental to the radio. And I really appreciate you for that.
Oh man, likewise. It's all love. And it reminded me of, I'm coming from Baltimore, Maryland, where I completed an MFA in theater arts. And it was a program that I originally entered in 2018 and I left in 2019. And it was because of similar situations where I decided to leave the program and say, you know what, I'm calling these folks out, but what is it that I want to do? And ultimately, I have a love for theater and a love for arts education. So I ended up going back to the program and starting it all over in 2022. And so in that moment, it just made me realize this is something, just as far as how are we portrayed and being perceived, but how do we prove it? When I went back into the program, I completed it. Now I have a thesis, working on a dissertation now. And like I shared with you before, I ended up sharing it with my mama, because I said, this reminds me a lot, reminds me a lot of the story and the experience that I went through. And this is something that we are going through right now within these institutions, and when we have a goal and a passion to strive for. So ever since that conversation, we were locked in.
Absolutely.
We've been locked in. Angel is an incredible voice actress.
All right, everyone. I'd like to raise a toast. It is so lovely to be surrounded by folks who are involved in the arts in some way, shape, or form. Thanks. Thanks for being here with Gordon and I tonight. You could have been anywhere west of here. But clearly, you couldn't evacuate in time. No. But in all seriousness, the North Florida Culture and Arts Council is more than just an arts organization. We're a family, an extended family. We'll get through this storm together, like we have every year. Cheers.
Cheers!
Now, you have a theater background. All right, could you tell me a little bit about that? How'd that get started?
It started with the Atlanta Nutcracker in 2005.
All right.
I was, 7 years old, and yeah, I know, right? A bunch of years ago. I was 7 years old, and they were doing tryouts for a ballet, and didn't know how to dance, could barely keep a beat. Out of everybody in my family, I have the least amount of rhythm. So my mom was like, just try it. Just do what you want to do. If you want to do that. And ever since that performance, me and theater have been like this.
Come on.
Did 4 years of theater in high school, was a thespian.
Thespian Society.
Thespian Society, yeah.
We owe them their dues, their fees. They're coming for us.
Right.
Don't come for us.
Right, please don't come for me. So did that, did my own production for my senior year. And I realized that I love directing. I love writing. I fell in love. So that's what led me to apply for SCAD and then eventually be here at FSU doing media communications.
All right, can you tell me, what was your favorite production so far?
Oh.
In all your
I think it was not Steel Magnolias. What's the movie? I think it is, honestly. But it was like, okay, the movie is like Queen Latifah, Anthony Anderson. I can't even remember it, but
it's all good.
Yes,
it's all good.
I played a character that was like 500 pounds. She liked diddly bars, and I just remember being like, "I get a diddly bar. Let me get a diddly bar," and like the way the crowd was just like, "What?" Whoa. Like, I don't know, something about feeding off the crowd and everyone being so engaged in like your 3 lines, like. That's what did it for me.
Got the hook.
I did.
You did a little voice acting right there, but you can check out more of Angel Wildgoose's voice acting in The Hurricane Party. It's up on YouTube right now. That process, we talked earlier about Prove It, and right then and there I knew, because, well, originally the play was for 9 folks, and well, we couldn't fit 9 folks in the production studio.
That little room,
So I asked, I voluntold in many ways if Angel could play multiple characters, and Angel came through. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So look, Angel. All right. Not only are you an actress, a media communications queen, you're also a model.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right here. So this is for DWF magazine. So Angel, can you tell us about the DFW magazine shoot? Okay, looking futuristic AF.
Thank you. So the theme for this issue was trespassing, and my friend Dari, shout out to Dari Jackson. She came up to me and she was like, "First of all, I have a dope idea. Second of all, you're a part of that dope idea, and I just don't ask any questions. Apply to be a model, and I promise I'll pick you. We'll do all this stuff. I'll listen to your input." And I was just like, "You had me at." You planned it. So definitely applied for that, and what an experience it was. Like, modeling is a lot of fun, and I tell everyone, like, you don't need a specific look. You don't need to be 100 pounds. You don't need, like, it does not matter. They're looking for a specific dynamic for their shoot. So everyone should apply to DWF in the spring season, or Strike, or any of these magazines on campus. You don't even have to go here. Like, definitely apply.
Yeah, student run, student produced. Take advantage of these resources,
Absolutely.
y'all. All right, I just want to get that last one right there. So futuristic, that Trinity, like, come on.
That's
Angel,
yes,
you know what
yes.
I mean? That's what I'm talking about.
Chasing the White Rabbit, for sure.
OMG, right there. And this is available for download?
It is.
All right,
it is.
Cool. All right, DWF magazine. All right.
Thank you.
So, Angel, this is usually around the time that I like to have the guests ask me a question.
Okay.
Do you have anything that's like boiling underneath? Any questions from me?
Let's see. I would love to ask you, not necessarily why FSU, but why does FSU benefit from having jam on campus? I know.
Well, honestly, this was about a year ago. I started to apply to PhD programs. I was wrapping up my MFA program up in Baltimore, Maryland. That's Towson University. I was instructor of record for my first college level course, and I felt damn accomplished. So I said, you know what? We're gonna keep going with this. I remember locking myself in my room for about 2 weeks, all application materials, processes. I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm about to get myself into, but I know I just want to keep going. Back in April, FSU done flew me out to the School of Theater. I said, okay, I had one day, I had 24 hours, and I caught the vibe. And I said, you know what? It's gonna take some reorienting. I felt like a big fish back in Baltimore. Now I feel like the small little fish. But to get back to your question, what I feel like it is just having an open mind and being fearless. I think for a while, being outside of the institution, it was me just being like, you know what? It's hard to find folks who are passionate, folks who are enthusiastic, folks who like work in that experimental realm. I was talking to Kyle earlier and just saying, a lot of folks are strategizing, especially when it comes to content and making content. And we're strategizing and overthinking it without doing it. And I think what FSU could benefit from having Jam here is I'm leaning in and I'm open to all the opportunities that are there. I do have a strong vision, but at the same time, I'm open to collaboration. And I think that's just something that I've always had within me. And so learning how to utilize that within the institution and knowing like we're in a new time where it doesn't matter the accolades that you have. If you got that heart and that fire for it, people are open to it, and I've shown improved time and time again. So that's why I feel like FSU could benefit from having Jam here. I ain't backing down. You know what I mean? Hurricane Elaine kind of like disconfigured and discombobulated my physiology and my biology, but you know what? I'm back and I'm better. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Appreciate that question. And we still going. This is semester 1 of many. So I'm getting my bearings, and I'm ready to take it into spring 2025.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so
all right,
excited.
y'all. PBNJ now. The P in PBNJ today stands for play. And I'd like to play a game with you, Angel. Okay. All right, we're gonna wrap it up with a game. Okay. So do you have a game for us to play?
Have you ever played the improv game called Pass the Phrase? There's another P. Pass the phrase.
PBNJ stands for pass the phrase.
Yes.
I've never played pass the phrase. I love improv though. So can you run it down for me?
Okay, so basically you're given a phrase, whether that be don't take the dog out. And you have to say it as many different ways as you can. No one can repeat it. The meaning has to be the same. No added words, no words taken out.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
All right. Do we get to a point? Is there do we fumble? How do we know if like it's time to move to a different phrase?
Typically we play this with about 5 people.
All right.
But I guess when you fumble, you're out.
We're out. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we got a couple voices. You know what I mean? Yeah. In the radio play, we played a bunch of voices.
Yes.
So, all right. Or you want to start us off? You got a phrase?
Oh, I don't.
Okay.
Do you?
Hey, you over there.
Okay. Hey, you over there.
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 Oh, that's good. You broke it up. Like that. That's good. Hey, you over there.
Hey, you over there.
Time. I'm out. I feel like it's. Did you hear the buzzer? The buzzer went off.
It
yeah,
did.
it went off. It went off. Okay.
Yeah, I had one brewed up.
That the way you broke. Okay. Can we do it again?
Yeah. Do you want another phrase or?
Please.
Let's stop right there.
Let's stop right there.
Let's stop right there.
Let's stop right there. Lil, you know.
Dang it!
Lil, you know. I don't know why.
I'm still saying it.
Oh, the buzzer about to go off. Hey. The buzzer about to go off.
Let's stop right there.
Let's stop right there.
Let's stop right there.
Let's stop right there.
Like that. I like that.
Had to get in my body for that one.
Right.
Let's stop right there.
Hey,
I feel it in the air. Angel's right there. And Jam is right here. All right, y'all. This has been Student Spotlight with the one and only Angel Wildgoose. Angel, thank you so much for stopping by. I am your host, Jam, and this is
Angel Wildgoose.
And this is PBNJ.
Let's stop right there.
Yeah! PBNJ is a public broadcast journalist platform, so if you have any suggestions for topics or segments that you'd like to see in the future, you can DM me at JamBoomBoom on Instagram or email boomcommunity10 @gmail.com. PBNJ was recorded live at GeoSet Studios, located at Dirac Sciences Library here at Florida State University.